Tired of listening to the same old boring podcast bull? Then tune in to the Unnamed podcast, available on Anchor.fm and Spotify.com. You're listening to the Unnamed podcast with Midnight Lunatic, available on Anchor.fm and Spotify.com. And without further ado, here is your host, Midnight Lunatic.
Hello, Midnight Crew, and welcome back to the Unnamed podcast. You guys already know what it is. You guys already know. We are back for another episode, and 2 weeks felt like a lifetime. I'm telling you guys, I miss you guys. I love doing this podcast for you, and it kind of sucks that I have to take those 2 weeks to get an episode out to you. But I'm telling you, man, it's starting to heat up out there. I mean, this past week, if you live in the U.S., you already know what I'm talking about. The U.S. presidential election, man, that was crazy. It's still going on as I'm recording. It's still going on. It's still a process. Like it's gonna take weeks for all this to like get settled in, and it's crazy. But we did see a winner. We saw a winner. And I don't want to get into politics because I'm not a big guy in politics. But like, congrats, okay? Congrats to the winner. Amazing job, amazing campaigning, and hey, it worked, paid off, and yeah. We now have ourselves a new president, so we'll see how that works out. But yeah, it's been an interesting 2 weeks. I've been busy with work, working 6 days a week now. It's a challenge, but I'm doing it. Getting my hours up, and I'm telling you, it's going. It's been a rough one, but hey, you got to do what you got to do. Am I right? Anyways, got a lot of interesting topics to get through. It's probably going to be a long episode. I'm going to try to do it as quickly as possible. We have a lot of interesting things to talk about. But, as always, before we get into those, we got to start off right with Fact of the Week.
It's everybody's favorite time of the week. It's time for the fact of the week.
You heard it here first. Fact of the week. Damn, man, this is weird. This is a weird one. Are you ready? Are you ready for this? Okay. All right. Calm down. I'm getting to it. Calm down. All right. So in 2007, Iran arrested 14 squirrels for spying. Imagine that. Imagine you're trying to have a top secret meeting, and you see all these squirrels just listening and looking and observing. To arrest them though, like really, like what are squirrels gonna do? I just think it's funny. Like, why would you arrest squirrels? Like, can you invent like robot squirrels? Is that a thing? I know technology is advanced and everything. It's 2020, but like a spying squirrel, is that a thing? I gotta look that up. Hey, if you guys look it up for me, I'll be tell me about it. I'm very curious. Can you do it? Is it a thing? Is it an invention? I don't know. But that's an interesting one right there. It cracked me up when I read it. I was like, there's no way this is true. But yeah, it's definitely true. But anyways, enough of Fact of the Week. Let's get on to our new topics. Now, first off, let's take it back to the World Series. I know we talked about it for the past 3 episodes, but now we have a champion. The LA Dodgers. Man. They defeated the Tampa Bay Rays to win the first World Series title since 1988. 8. Now, that's been a long time for them. Look. I know I said I didn't want them to win, but remember, I also said that I had the feeling that they would, and look what happened. They won. So congrats to them, but there is something about that Game 7 win to talk about. So this is where it gets juicy, all right? This is where it gets little interesting on that part. So, in Game 7 of the World Series, the MLB says that Justin Turner broke the rules by returning to the field after testing positive for the virus. So they knew that he was positive. They knew it. And for those that don't know who Justin Turner is, he is the third baseman for the Dodgers. So he tested positive. They found out during the game. During the game, they found out. Like, I think it was like inning 7. Like it was like the top of the 7th or bottom of the 7th. Somewhere in the 7th inning, they found out, right? And they took him out the game. I don't know if there's going to be a fine. To me, it's very dangerous and kind of a selfish move on Justin Turner to make that decision. I mean, he's not only, putting himself, out there to spread it. He's his teammates, right? His teammates, even after the win, they were hugging him, they were touching him, like talking to him, being like, very close with him, even though he was tested positive. Now, it was, I don't know how MLB is wanting to deal with this, but I guess we'll see when more things happen in the investigation. But as of right now, they're still investigating, exactly what to do on their part. But man, GG, okay, to the Dodgers. But at the same time, like, Justin Turner, man, I know you have a game to win. I know it's an important game for you. You're a big key part of your team. But at the same time, like, dude, like, you got the virus. And this is a big thing, right? Do you care about your team? Do you care about your teammates? Or do you care about that trophy more? Like, it's selfish. That's all I can say about it. It's a selfish move. But they came up with the win. GG's on them. All right. And, Justin Turner, man. It's crazy. But speaking of sports, it has come to my attention that ESPN is to cut 500 jobs as the COVID-19 erodes revenues. So it looks like ESPN is getting to the point where they're like, hey, man, we're going to have to start making some budget cuts. We're going to start making some layoffs. Like, for this, it's getting real, man. This COVID shutdown is putting a lot of businesses, even big businesses like ESPN and Disney, they're starting to worry. Now, they have enough money, luckily, right? The small businesses are already shut down and trying to stay alive, which is very sad to me. But ESPN, right? The cuts, which include 300 layoffs, and in addition to the layoffs, another 200 open positions will be eliminated. Now, this was said by the company. So they already did 300 layoffs. They're planning on doing 300 layoffs, and the 200 additional open positions that they had available are just gone. They're like, nope, we can't hire no one. We just don't have that in the budget. And it's crazy because ESPN has more than 5,000 employees worldwide. Now, ESPN, it's a big sports company. They go anywhere from football to soccer to hockey to baseball. They cover everything. They cover NASCAR even. Like, they cover everything. So, they have a lot of employees doing a lot of different things. So ESPN did not specify when the layoffs would take effect, but the employees will be learning about their future over the next couple weeks. So they're still not sure who exactly is going to get the layoff, who's going to be affected by it, but they'll come to terms in the next couple of weeks on which employees and how they're going to do these layoffs. I mean, it's sad. It's really sad, but man, it's the ways of the world right now. That's what we're living in 2020. That's how it is. You know, we gotta just stay strong, stay united, work together, and man, just wear your mask, man. I still see a lot of people that are not wearing their mask, and they're like, I don't believe in that. You know, it's like, okay, just wear it. You know, just wear it, because the longer you prolong wearing your mask, the longer you're gonna have to start wearing your mask. Like people don't learn. But hey, that's another story I don't want to get into. All right, let's continue with ESPN. All right, so ESPN has successfully launched a streaming product known as ESPN Plus. We all have heard of ESPN Plus. It's one of the things that you get in the Hulu and Disney Plus bundle, right? For I believe it's like $13 a month. You get all three of those for that price. It has 8.5 million subscribers. It's still, you know, 8.5 million subscribers. That's a lot. But on the other hand, the bulk of its revenue, of ESPN's revenue, is from paid cable and satellite. So without those channels getting views and everything, their revenue is dropping. Their revenue is done. And we all know how expensive cable is, right? I for one know how expensive cable is, because I've been trying to get cable for a very long time, and I'm trying to find the best one for the price. There was T-Mobile, you know, and I'm a big fan of T-Mobile. I have T-Mobile as my phone provider. They offered a TV for like $40, but I was looking at it. It's definitely not worth it for me, especially with the channels that they provide within that $40 subscription. It's totally not worth it. Luckily for me, I got a 2-week subscription to YouTube TV. I'm loving it, man. YouTube TV, man, as expensive as they are, $65 a month, it has every channel you ever need. Like, I absolutely love YouTube TV, and honestly, I'm thinking about subscribing, but I'm getting carried away here. What am I doing? Okay, all right. So back to ESPN. So the cuts are the latest within the Disney company. We all know that Disney and ESPN, they're the same company. They're owned by the same people, right? Like I said before, you know, Hulu is also in that category, owned by Disney. Said in September would lay off 28 domestic employees at its park. This is at Disney. So this included, you know, Disneyland, Disney California Adventure, and Walt Disney World, right? That's in Orlando, Florida. And for those Disney fans wondering, okay, if there's anyone wondering how long it's been since Disneyland closed, let me tell you, it's been 214 days. 214 days since Disney was last open. That's a very long time. Very. And for the Disney fans that are like, oh man, I can't wait for the day. I'm sorry, you're going to have to wait a lot longer. 214 days might not seem like nothing now, because you're probably going to have to wait a year and a half, maybe even 2. It's crazy. It's crazy. But yeah, ESPN, man, they're trying to do what they got to do. They got to lay off some employees, just like all these other companies out here. Man, you know, I feel sorry for their jobs, you know, getting cut, and employees not knowing really what their future holds for them. But they'll manage. They'll survive. You know, it's probably easier for them to survive than it is for us small guys that just work minimum wage jobs. You know, I've been there. You know, I was out of work for about 2 months, but you know, I survived. I'm actually doing better now than what I was doing at the beginning of the year. So, hey, you know, it sometimes works out if you know how to, you know, work with your money. I know I'm one of those people that know how to work with my money, and I can survive. But anyways, quick topics time. And hey, there's some interesting ones in here, all right? There's some interesting ones. So, starting off with music. Drake. We all know the rapper Drake. He has a new album coming out named Certified Lover Boy. Yes, that is the name. That is the name. I was like, what? Okay. But it is set to drop in January of 2021. So here in a couple months, all you Drake lovers will be tuning in to listen to this new album. Now, we also have some sad news. Sir Sean Connery, the actor who defined James Bond, has passed away at the age of 90. Now, I for one have never seen the old James Bond movies. I've personally have never watched them, but I've heard of them. I've heard only good things about the movie, and it's tragic that actors like him, they have to die. It's one of those things where you just can't control it. It's life, and rest in peace to him, and hope his soul is free. It's a very sad thing, but hey, I mean, age 90, that's a very long time. That's a very long time. So he's lived his life, and I got to tell you, he was probably one of the happiest ones. I mean, James Bond, that's a big character. So we all know he was doing good. Anyways, England faces new lockdown as UK coronavirus count passes 1 million. So it looks like England is now facing lockdown. So we'll see what that brings. I know here in the US, it's getting pretty bad again. We're seeing spike cases again. And honestly, I'm not even sure if it's just because we're doing more testing or if it's just, because cases are going up. So I don't really know the statistics in between there. All I know is cases are on the rise right now. And especially with this presidential, election results, everyone's just out in the streets celebrating and doing this and that and holding parades. And that's going to play a key part in the rise of the cases. But I guess it is what it is. Floyd Money Mayweather, we all know him, the big famous boxer. Well, his daughter is pregnant. That's right. Yaya, I believe, is her name. Why would you name your kid that? I don't know. But Yaya is pregnant with NBA Youngboy's baby. And I don't like the guy. I've heard his music. I think he's trash. I think he's terrible. Okay, I'm not gonna lie to you. He's terrible. I don't like it. Okay, but it is what it is. Okay, it is what it is. He is pregnant, or she is pregnant from him, and Floyd does not like it. He absolutely hates the fact that his daughter got pregnant by him, and referred to him as I'm quoting this here, "Bitch daddy." That's his name. That's his name that Floyd has for him. I think that's funny. I thought that was hilarious. I don't know about you. Another sad news: rapper King Von was shot and killed in Atlanta. This happened a couple days ago. Honestly, I have never heard of his music up until recently. One of my coworkers was a big fan of him, and was actually playing some of his music at work the other day. And man, he's better than most rappers I've heard. Is he in my taste? Probably not. But I know a lot of people that, that's probably their taste in music. If you never heard of King Von, go check him out. I mean, he does talk about some true stuff. But he was shot and killed, unfortunately, and man, it's another one gone. It's crazy. A lot of people were like very shocked over this, and I was like, who's King Von? I was completely lost, and I now I know his music a little bit, and it's like, man, it's another good rapper is just gone. You know, it's crazy. It's tragic the way the world works, but it is what it is. Call of Duty fans all around the world, listen, be prepared for this. All right, because Nuketown 84, new zombie modes, 2v2 gunfights, new maps, modes, weapons, secrets, and more are on the way to Cold War, coming out soon. Now, Nuketown returns November 24th, followed by the Season 1 content on December 10th. So for everyone that is getting Call of Duty Cold War in a couple days, stay tuned, because you're going to see a lot of new things coming to that game. Now, for me, I'm not getting Call of Duty. Okay, I've said this before. I've contemplated it for a while, and Call of Duties nowadays, they don't interest me as much as when Black Ops 2 came out. Black Ops 2 to this day is still my very favorite game. That was my all-time favorite game, and I love that game. I spent so many hours on that game, and it just Call of Duty just has not been the same since then. It's seen a lot of ups and downs. You know, there was some fun moments, you know, with the newer Call of Duties, but it's not the same atmosphere as Black Ops 2. But you know, hey, Call of Duty fans are probably excited for this one. You know, it was confirmed by Call of Duty themselves that all this stuff is coming to Cold War. I'm kind of interested about the zombie modes. You know, I'm a big fan of zombies. Nuketown, man, I think they need to retire that map. I get it, that's their top map. Everyone loves it, but it's getting to the point where like you're bringing it in every single mode, and it's annoying. Like, how many different versions of Nuketown do we really need? You know, like, just retire it. Build like a new, I'm not saying like a new Nuketown, but like, you know, like a map kind of like Nuketown. You know, a little small map, little, you know, cool looking little town thing. You know, you can do Nuketown without doing Nuketown, if that makes sense. You know, like, just retire that one, come up with a new idea, and I'm pretty sure people are going to love it just the same if you work on it, you know, like you did with Nuketown. But hey, it is what it is. You know, Nuketown, fun map, but like it's getting old. Well, that was the end of Quick Topics. Let's talk a little bit about Walmart, because this was a very interesting one. And over the week, a lot of things changed, but Walmart pulled guns ammo displays in the U.S. They pulled both the guns and the ammo displays. They were like, okay, we're going to take them off the shelves, only because at the time they were worried about protests and looters and riots and everything in the city. They didn't want people like going into Walmart and trying to loot all the guns and the ammo. So they're like, okay, we're just going to take them off display, act like we're not selling them no more. You know, it was pretty much a safety precaution. The customers can still purchase them, but it was just more of a safety precaution. Just take them off display so that people like don't really know what's there. But like for the true people that like actually do purchase their firearms and ammunition for, you know, actual things, they were still able to purchase them. But shortly after Walmart made the decision, they reversed it. The same week. They were like, okay, we're going to put them back on the shelves. Like, okay, you just said you wanted them off, and now you're going to put them back on in the same week, a couple days later? So in a statement made by Walmart, they had this to say, and I quote, "After civil unrest earlier this week resulting in damage to several of our stores, consistent with actions we took over the summer, we asked stores to move firearms and ammunition from the sales floor to a secure location in the back of the store in an abundance of caution." The company also stated, as the current incidents have remained geographically isolated, We have made the decision to begin returning these products to the sales floor today. So after a couple of days, they were like, you know what, let's just put it back out there. People are behaving. I don't really see safety precaution measures here. Let's just put it back out, act like nothing ever happened, start selling. Walmart, I get what you're doing, but like if you're going to make a decision like that, stick to it for at least a week or two, not a couple days later. Okay, if you're worried about people rioting and looting, okay, stick with that. Okay, if you're worried about it, stick with that. Don't change your mind because nothing has happened within a couple days. Okay, that's just that. No, okay, no, don't do that. Anyways, Walmart, they got guns, they got ammunition. If you need it, go get it. Okay, that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Now this topic right here, this is probably where you're going to get excited. For all the McDonald's fans out there that eat McDonald's, I'm one of those that likes to eat McDonald's. Not so much these days because McDonald's just makes me feel weird. I'm trying to cut down on all the fast food and I'm trying to do a little bit more cooking at home and watch what I eat and stuff. And it's working. I'm drinking more water, not drinking any sodas. It's working for me. Okay, it's working. But anyways, McDonald's McRib. You heard it right. McRib is returning to the menus across America for the first time in 8 years. I'm sorry for everyone in the rest of the world. This is only in the U.S. The McRib is set to return on December 2nd. So less than a month away, we're going to see the return of the McRib. Now, this is the first time since 2012. Since 2012, that's 8 years. 8 years, like I said, that the McRib will roll out nationally. Like, it's crazy because every time the McRib was to come back, they would only do it in certain regions, certain areas, certain McDonald's that you can only get it from. Now, they're saying, hey, we're going national with this. Every McDonald's is going to have this. I think it's great. I think it's a great move on their part. For me, I've personally have never tried one. I would like to try one. I want to see what all the hype is about. So I guess I'm gonna have to wait until it's back on the menu to do that. But here's an interesting fact for you. The McRib was actually debuted in 1982. 1982 was the year that the McRib was debuted. And for those that don't know what the McRib is, let me tell you, it is a pork patty molded into the shape of a rack of ribs. It is topped with pickles and onions, and it is placed on like this sesame seed, like kind of hot dog looking bun, but like it's an actual like burger bun. It's kind of hard to explain the way the bun is. It's kind of like a hoagie bun. I guess that's like the most similar thing you can get to it. But yeah, it's pretty much what that is. That's the McRib. So, I mean, it looks good. Okay, I've seen pictures of it. I've seen the commercials. It looks good, but like I said, I've never had one, and I'm very curious on how it really tastes. I've heard bad things and I've heard good things. Mostly bad things. How about where exactly the McRib comes from and how it's processed and everything. I've heard it all, right? But we've seen it with the chicken nuggets, we've seen it with the burgers, we've seen it with the fries. Now McDonald's, I got to tell you now, I like McDonald's, but at the same time, I know how they process things. I seen it with my own eyes, and I got to tell you, I don't like it. I don't. That's why I stopped eating McDonald's for the longest time, because I was like, this is what I'm putting in my body. I don't want that. So I stopped for the longest time. And I'm not going to lie. The other day I was feeling hungry. McDonald's was like very, very cheap at the time. I got this whole thing set up where I can get like a whole meal, right? For like $10. So that's what I did, right? I'm setting a budget for myself. $10 is the most I'll spend on food, on fast food. And McDonald's just happens to be that fast food chain where I can get the most for my buck. So, I got hungry the other day and ordered McDonald's, and it was good. But at the same time, like afterwards, I was like, my stomach is like upset, like, I don't feel good. But yes, the McRib is coming back to McDonald's, so be ready, all you McDonald's lovers. Get ready. I wonder how much were the McRibs. I don't know necessarily the price, and I'm pretty sure the price is gonna vary on your region. I just want to say, I think that. I don't know. Maybe it might be the same price all nationwide, but I I don't know. I guess we're gonna have to see. Now, for the main event topic of the evening. This is a big one, and it is kind of the deal breaker for me. And once I tell you what it's about, I'll go into more detail on what I mean by that. Now, PS5. It is set to debut and be able to be purchased in stores, right? In a couple days. Now look, this is where it kind of hurt me, and I know it hurt a lot of PlayStation fans out there. Okay, but on PS5's console sales on launch day, so all PS5 console sales on launch day, November 12th or the 19th, depending on your region, will be online only. That's right. There is to be no units available in store for purchase. So for those that like to camp out for their newest consoles, don't plan on camping out. Don't plan on lining up outside of the stores on launch day and hoping to find a PS5, because it's not going to happen. It's just not. They're not going to have any consoles in stores for purchase. Everything's going to be online. So be safe. Stay home. Place your order online and get it that way. For the ones that did pre-order it for pickup at these stores, they're still able to do that at a designated appointment time. So not everyone can get it at the same time. They're still taking their virus protocols serious. They don't want everyone in the store at once bombarding every counter with these PlayStations. They're pretty much scheduling out when people can come pick them up. And I'm pretty sure they're doing it in like 5-minute, maybe 10-minute increments. That's what I would do, just to keep the flow going, because there's going to be a lot of people that pre-order this that are wanting to pick it up as soon as possible. So it kind of makes sense to just do it like in 5, 10-minute, even 15-minute increments, just to keep, that flow going, because waiting, each hour or even like 30 minutes, I think that's too long between, customers, because it does not take that long, right? You go in the store and you're like, hey, I'm picking up, PS4 or PS5 for blah, blah, blah. They get it, scan it, purchase, bam. It should take like less than a minute to do. So it would make sense for about a 10, 15-minute wait between each customer to come pick up their order. But we'll see how stores do that. For me, this is a very sad situation, because I would love to kind of just like check out the box and like kind of just see everything like in person in the store and just kind of compare the two like in real life and everything. I know you can do it online, but like I actually like to look at things physically before I buy them, just to see that it's real, like it's right there in my face. It's real. It's a real thing. And I don't know, I'm just one of those people where I like to physically have it in my hands. I'm not like the type of person to order things and just have to wait. And that. And remember, I said this a couple weeks back. I was like, I hate doing it. That's why I wasn't going to pre-order, because I hate spending the money and then having to wait all that time. I want it now. I want it physically in my hands. So this was a deal breaker for me, because the past couple days I've been actually considered considering buying myself one. You know, my birthday is coming up on the 28th of this month, and I was like, man, that would be a good birthday present to myself. You know, PS5. And I just learned that the PS5 can now do backwards compatibility with your PS4 games. So for me, I have all my games on my external hard drive hooked up to my PS4. I heard that you can disconnect your external hard drive from your PS4, plug it into the PS5, and all those games will be automatically transferred to the PS5. And whatever games that are able to do backwards compatibility on the PS5 can be played like just straight from the hard drive. You don't have to, transfer any of the data, any of that. It just automatically is there and you're ready to go. I thought that was cool. My PS4 is actually on its last legs, so to speak. And in PS5, it's a brand new console. Like I said before, it's probably going to have a lot of problems within the first couple batches, right? A lot of maybe some consoles that are not fully built right, where the fans are really loud. Some of them might overheat. There might be mechanical issues somewhere just in the system. We've seen it before in the past. A lot of consoles that are brand new, they show some type of difficulties within the first couple tries of getting the consoles out there, and that's just because manufacturers are just so in a rush to try to keep up with the supply and demand of the process that they just kind of slip one thing, and they're not too careful on how they're assembling the consoles, and things happen, and mechanically they just don't really work as they're needed to. But at the same time, I don't know, man. Just to have a brand new console, for me, I've never had a brand new console at launch, within the first couple weeks of it launching. I've never owned a console that's brand new. I've had to wait, a couple months, a year or two before I actually got my hands on one. So it would be cool to actually get my hands on one of these before, the entire world has one before me, right? So I don't know. I'm still on the edge about it. I'm still thinking about it. If I could find one online, and I'm looking for the digital edition. So if I can find one online that is not sold out, I'll consider it. I'm trying to plan for my birthday, but at the same time, I'm trying to be careful with my money and how I spend it. So I don't know. I don't know yet. I guess I'll just have to wait and see what happens. I'm still trying to work out if I'm going to or not. I've been thinking hard about it. I've also been thinking about just saying, screw it and just getting the cheaper version of the Xbox. I think it's the Xbox Series S or something. That's the cheap one, the digital one. I was thinking about doing that one because it's $100 cheaper than the PS4 would be. Or the PS5, I'm sorry. I keep saying PS4. But I'm not a big Xbox guy. I have both consoles right now, my Xbox and my PS4. And I don't have... I have a lot of games on my Xbox. And I love, how Xbox, Game Pass works and everything. I love that. They got some good games on there compared to, what PS4's PlayStation Plus gets you. But I've never really been big into the Xbox. I've been more of a PlayStation guy, and I don't know. I guess I gotta think about it more. Do I just go say, hey, $100 more gets me the console that I really want, or am I going to go with the cheaper version because it's in my budget more, it's more affordable? I don't know yet. That's what I'm working on, and I'm conflicted with, and I just don't know which one I'm going to go with. So that I guess I got some work to do there. But this is all for this week's episode. I hope you all enjoyed it. Thank you so much to everyone that tunes in and enjoys my podcast episodes almost every week. I know it's been weird. I had 3 back-to-back episodes, and now I'm like 2 weeks apart again. It happens, okay? If I have the topics, I come back and I talk about it. Last week I was streaming and I was talking with my buddy Matt. You all know Matt, and I was like, "Hey, I need some help. I need an opinion. I have some information. I'm not sure if it's good enough for a full episode. It'd probably be like a 15-20 minute episode. But like I have some topics that I really want to talk about, and I don't know if I should record or not because I don't want it to be just like a short little conversation." And then, like, that's it. Because I know you guys love listening to the podcast and hearing what I have to talk about. And so for me to, like, make, like, a little mini episode about it, it doesn't seem worthy to me. And so I was like, hey, do I record it? Or do I collect more topics within the next week and have more to talk about? Or do I record now? Because another thing that I had issues with was, like, some of the information that I talked about today, like the World Series and everything. Like the World Series happened weeks ago. And for me to like talk about it like now, it was kind of irrelevant to talk about. But at the same time, like there was some interesting stuff, like the Justin Turner stuff. It was interesting to talk about. And I really wanted to share that with you guys last week. But I was like, I still don't have a lot of information. Like it would have been a very, very short conversation. So I was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna wait, collect more information, get everything, more set in, and we'll do an episode, the week after. And this is where I am. So I know I'm sorry that you guys have to wait the 2 weeks, but I'm still doing it. Even though I'm working a lot more, I'm still here. I'm still doing it. I'm still enjoying this. All right. Like I said, I'm working my hardest. I'm trying not to be so lazy into doing everything on one day. I got football going right now. I'm recording the podcast. I got a clean house. Like it's crazy for me to like do everything in the same day and not really have time to relax, but it is what I got to do. It's being an adult, you got to take care of what you got to do, your responsibilities. But yeah, that's it for this week's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed. Midnight Lunatic signing out. I love y'all. Stay safe. Make sure to check out my Discord. If you haven't joined my Discord, make sure you check that out. Join it. Talk with me on there. Suggest topics for me to talk about. Facebook. My Facebook page is still going strong. Make sure you go follow me on there. Twitter, Instagram. What else? I don't know. Follow me on Anchor. Send me a message on Anchor. I would really love messages on Anchor again. It's been a while. I think the Rick Sanchez visit was my last time I got a message on here, a voice message. I would love for you guys to reach out to me on here. Show your support. You guys get featured in the episode, so that's a bonus for you guys. Send me some stuff. I'm sorry, I got hiccups. Send me some stuff to talk about. Interesting stuff, that you guys want to hear me talk about. And if you guys want to, actually, this is an invite for you guys now. If you guys are interested in being a part of the Unnamed podcast, reach out to me. Say, hey, I would love to be a guest on your show. Contact me. We'll work out the details. We'll get everything set, and you can come on the show, and we'll have a good time. We'll talk about some stuff, and we'll go with that. I'm trying to get more involved with you guys. I'm trying to get more involved. I'm trying to be more active. I'm trying to be more active in my Discord for sure. I try to get on there daily. Sometimes it's hard for me. Work has me busy. It's been busy. But I try to stay active on there. I try to reach out to everyone and say, hey, I got this coming up. Hey, I hope everyone's having a good day. I try to stay active. I try to talk with everyone. I try to post as much as I can on my Facebook. Trying to stream again, but it's not been my week this week. I've been, again, busy. I try to get back into it. Podcast is still going. I'm checking the numbers. We're almost at 600 views now. We're about 550, 5.5. So it's growing. I appreciate everyone, and that's just on Anchor. That's on Anchor and Spotify. Those are the views that are coming in right there. We're still not talking about the views that I'm getting on Facebook. We're not talking about the views that I'm getting on YouTube. That's just on Anchor and Spotify, those views. So I guarantee at this time, with all those collectively the views, we're probably over 600. And man, that feels great for me. That means that you guys are actually listening. You guys want more, and I'm here. I'm doing it. All right, I gotta end this before it gets too long. I'm just rambling on here, but I love you guys. I just want to show my appreciation to you guys. I love you. Stay safe. Wear your mask. Be safe and enjoy. I hope you guys enjoyed your Halloween. I know it was past Halloween already, so I hope you guys enjoyed that. But anyways, I also got to tell you, last night I went to a virtual concert. Like, this is a real thing. This is a real thing in 2020, right? You can't go to an actual concert because, COVID. But virtual concerts are a thing. I went to one last night. It was great. It was incredible. I had a good time. I almost lost my throat because I was like singing and yelling. I was just jumping around in my room. Like, I was having a good time by myself. It was a good time. I loved it. I hoped that they do more of this. It was a good time. I just gotta let you know. I gotta go. I gotta go. I'm running out of time. They're calling me out. They're like, I have producers or something calling me. Just play the part, okay? Just pretend. All right, guys. I gotta go. I love you. Yes. See you guys when I see you guys. Thank you. Love you. Bye bye. Midnight Lunatic signing out. Bye.